Now let us see the 14 principles of management that is given by Henry Fayol. Introductions of principles. 14 principles of management are statements that are based on fundamental truth. Now these 14 principles that he has given, actually it is based on the fundamentals truth. These principles of management serve as guidelines. These are nothing but guidelines for the people, those who are working in an industry or in an organization. They are drawn up by means of observation and analysis of events that managers encountered in practice. Now, where from these principles came? It came into existence from the observations and analysis of events. As we know, in the organization, when work goes on or planning goes on, lots of events comes into existence, and then these managers, Henry Fayol, he observed all these events and then he analyzed the events, and from that he pointed out these 14 principles which is required for an organization to run smoothly and achieve its goal. Now, Fayol's 14 principles are, these are the principles, and first principle is division of work. What Henry Fayol, he said that the work should be divided based on the specialization or their efficiency, their skills, their knowledge, their practice, all these things matters. So based on those, the work should be divided. Individual to build up experience. Now if a person, one who has the knowledge and skill of a certain work, if he is provided with the same work, then he can gain more knowledge out of that. For example, if I am teaching management and if I am given to teach management, then the knowledge of management that I have already, that I will apply, and with that I will gain more knowledge. So next is continuous improvement in skill. The more we do the works become more perfect. So people become more perfect. As you know the proverb, practice makes the man perfect. So similarly, when a person is given according to his skills a work, then he does it, he continues his job, and in this continuation of his job he learns more and his skills gets improved. Entrusted to specialist in the related field. Here what happens, the specialists are separated according to their skills and knowledge. And here what happens, the organizations differentiates between the skill, and then he selects the person according to their skill and gives him the work that he can do properly and efficiently. So this is the first point of first principles of the Henry Fayol, that work should be divided. Next is authority and responsibility. Now people are given authority as well as responsibility, and responsibility comes with the authority. Now in authority and responsibility, right to issue command. Now what happens, one who is given the authority, he has the right to give command, power to exact obedience. He should have that power so that he makes the people obedient. That is to follow the rules and regulations of the organization. Next, responsibility to perform work. Obviously, one who is given, as I said, responsibility comes with the authority. So one who is given authority, he is also responsible, and he has the responsibility. What is that? Responsibility to perform work. Once you give a person an authority, automatically he develops the responsibility to do the work perfectly, at his best. That means he automatically the responsibility comes in his shoulders, so that he can complete his work perfectly as possible as he can. Next is, third point is discipline. Now discipline, if we see in every organizations, including our home, there is a discipline. Without discipline, nothing goes on smoothly. And when things doesn't go smoothly, then we cannot expect the good result. So discipline is most important. Now in discipline, for smooth running of business, discipline is required to smooth running of business. And similarly, at home also we have disciplines, because of which everything goes on smoothly. Next is obedience to authority. Now the discipline makes the people obedient towards the authority. Observance of rules of service. Now everyone, through discipline, we can make the people to observe the rules that is provided by the organization. Norms of performance. Now through discipline we can make people follow the norms that has been set for their performance. Respect for agreements and superiors. Now we have to respect the agreement of the organization and superiors. Sincere efforts. Now, since through disciplines, once the people are disciplined, they put their efforts sincerely. Now to continue with the principles of management, fourth point is unity of command. Each worker should have only one boss and are accountable to one superiors. Now what does it mean? That when in an organization, if you see, every departments are separated, and in every department lots of people, they work under one superiors, one head. So those people, whatever the orders are issued by the managers, there should be only one managers. I'll give an example. Suppose in the sales department, lots of sales personnel are working. Now they are sales executives. Now on top of the sales executive, there is a sales manager. Only one manager is there. Assistant manager could be there, but actually the orders gets transferred from the manager to assistant manager, and then assistant manager details it to the sales personnel, that is sales executive. So this type of command, unity of command should be there. And if one is accountable, then if any worker is accountable, he should be accountable to one person, one authority. If lots of authorities are there, then there will be confusion when the command will be passed, and these confusions will create confusions in the work also. Next, unity of directions. People engaged in same kind of activities must have the same objectives in the single plan. Now those who are doing the same kind of work, they must have the same objectives in a plan, in a single plan. There should not be 2-3 different kinds of plan. So in a plan, there should not be 2-3 different kinds of activities and 2-3 different types of objectives. Now in that case, what will be there? There will be lots of confusions among the people and their activities, and with that, if that goes on, the objectives cannot be achieved. So it is said that the kind of activities should be same and objective should be same. then only the work can be performed smoothly. Next is priority to common interest. Now, every department has their own objectives, but these objectives are related to the final objectives of the organization or firm. Now, these common interest, that common interest of an individual or an individual department should not overlap the objectives of the organizations or the firm. So, goals of the firm are always paramount. That means the goal of the organization is ultimate, and every individual's interest should be towards reaching the goal of the organization. Next is fair remuneration for efforts. Now, the employees, every employees, they are putting their efforts. Remuneration that is to be paid to each employers should be according to their efforts that they are putting under constant attention of managers. That means these efforts that the employees they are doing, that should be under the constant observations, under the constant observations of the managers. Managers needs to observe who is putting how much efforts, and not only efforts but sincere efforts. And according to the sincere efforts that they are putting, their remuneration should be fixed. So this is what it is told in the point number principle of 7th principle of management. Now on 8, centralization and decentralization. Centralization means keeping power with one person, and decentralization means distributing powers among the various levels. Now it depends upon the structure of the business. It depends on the structure of the business. What kind of business it is, what is its structure, that depends whether the power to be centralized or decentralized. Nature and its operation. We have to see the nature of business and also the way it operates. Accordingly, we can centralize or decentralize the powers. Next, culture of its types and its business. What is the culture of the people that they are working in that organization, and the culture of the business also determines whether the power should be centralized or decentralized. Next, 9th point is scalar chain. Now, what is scalar chain? Chain means, if you look into the chains, there is a connection from top to bottom. If you hang the chain, then you will see all the beads are connected to each other in an order from top to bottom and from bottom to top. So that should be maintained. Line of authority. The line of authority, I have drawn a diagram here to represent the authority. This is line of authority, A, B, C, D, E. So now when orders or communications are passed, A will pass to B, B will pass to C, C will pass to D, and D will pass to E. Similarly, when they get the feedback or they get the informations or any situation arises down there in the E position, then it should be transferred to D first, then D will transfer it to C, B and A. So that line of order of the authority should be properly done. Order or communication should pass through the proper channel. So these orders or communication should be passed through a single line of channel so that it reaches the destination as it was given at the topmost level. If it has a different line chain, if the chain is broken, then these informations will get modified with the diversions, and then the proper message will not reach to the workers. So this scalar chain should be maintained. Now, point 10th principle of management, that is order. Orderliness in work, material and social order. Now, principle of order says that there should be, the work should be done in a ordered manner. The material and social resources whatever we have, that should be in an order so that we can reach the goals that is set by the organization. Third point, a place for everything and everything in its place. This is a sentence which gives the complete meaning of the order, that this is a place where everything is there and everything is in its place. Next is equity. Employees must be treated with fairness, kindness and justice. Now all the employees should be treated fairly, with kindness, and justice should be done with every employees. Next is stability. Now stability here is stability related to the jobs. What the tenure of job stability and security of jobs. Now there should be a fixed tenure. If there is any fixation, that tenure should be fixed. That cannot be, we cannot keep that period unfixed, because if we keep the period unfixed, then there will be doubts in the mind of employees and they cannot put their sincere efforts to the organization when they do not have the fixed tenure of the job. Next is security of the jobs. Now every personnel that is working in an organization, he should have the feeling of the security of job. He cannot be insecure with his job, because his job is the source of livelihood for him. So that security should be there. Then only he will put his best or sincere efforts to do his job in time. Next is initiative. Now every workers or personnel, those who are working in the organization, should have freedom to think. They should have a freedom to think and execute a plan. There cannot, those in this sector, interference cannot be done, because if interferences are there in this two part, thinking and execution, in these two part, then it cannot be successful. Next is spirit de corps. Spirit de corps means foster the moral. Means here we need to increase the moral value of the workers. Real talent is needed to coordinate efforts. Now for coordinating the efforts of the people, real talent is required. Encourage keenness. We have to encourage the keenness in the mind of the people. Use each person's ability, and through that only we can use the maximum ability of the people. Reward each one's merit, and we have to reward accordingly to every person's without arousing jealousies. Now when we differentiate between their efforts, and if we pay accordingly to those workers, that should be such that it shouldn't create jealousy among the staffs or disturb the harmonious relation. Because once jealousy is created, then the harmony that prevails in the organizations, that will be disturbed. And if harmony is disturbed, that means everything is disturbed. Work also will get disturbed, the mentality of the workers also will get disturbed, and we cannot achieve the goals that we have set. Now conclusion. What is the conclusions of all these principles that we have studied? These principles helps manager as a guidelines in performing their duties, in performance of their duties. Now these guidelines that we have seen, these 14 points of management, will help the manager to perform his duties. This principle must be flexible and adaptable as per the situation. Now this should be flexible and adaptable. Every principles cannot be adopted in every situation. There is a particular principle which will be adopted in a particular situation, and it has to be applied and solve the problem. Useful tools. Now these principles are very useful tools for forecasting, planning, process management, organization management, decision making, coordinations and control. So these are the functions of the management where these principles will help to properly forecast, properly plan, then management, process management, organization management, in decision making, creating coordination and control. That's all. Thank you.